Cooking with Carolyn. Today I have Sabrina with me. Say hello.
Hi everybody.
Today we're going to have something really good for you guys. We're going to have Italian squash. And that's going to be our theme this month. And with the Italian squash, you just kind of want to cook it in several different ways. If you're going to eat it fresh, you would peel the skin and dice it up really thinly, and it would make a nice crunchy salad. And if you're going to cook it as we are in this episode, then you want to keep the skin on so you can enjoy the full flavor of it. Right?
Right. How long does it take to grow these? And what's the best season for them to grow?
That's a good question. The best season for the Italian squash, which is different than any other squash, is hot weather. They love the hot weather. You don't want them in too much direct sunlight because they have these big, beautiful leaves and kind of like some of the Jurassic Park leaves. Really big leaves, and that helps keep them cool. Some of the other squash that you might be used to is the yellow squash, the crooked neck squash, the zucchini squash, and what we had before on the show is the gold rush squash. You remember that?
Yes, I do. It's delicious.
So, it is. So, what Sabrina is doing right now is she is slicing up the squash, and as you notice, she's keeping the skin on. And right back here, I have some that's cooking. So you can see how we cook it. So what we do is we get the squash cut up nice and thin, and 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of salt. The reason we use more salt with the Italian squash is because the salt, if you did not know, is a natural preservative. Back in the day when they did not have refrigerators, quote-unquote icebox, they used salt to cure the meat.
Wow.
So what it's going to do to this squash is going to pull out the natural fluids in the squash. And it's kind of like sweating.
Okay.
So we're going to pour that in there real quick.
What temperature do you suggest to cook the squash in?
I suggest that you cook it over a medium high. And the reason being is because you want it to get like really done and soft. Like I said, if you want it crunchy, then I wouldn't cook it at all, but I would peel it because sometimes the skin can be a little rough.
Okay.
So just throw that on in here, Sabrina.
And how long do you suggest it cook? Like, what is the time frame that you recommend?
That's another good question. It depends on the size of the squash. If you notice in the opening credits, you're going to see a humongous squash, like this big. Believe me, they can get bigger. So naturally, that squash is going to take a little bit longer to cook. But when it's little, like these little sweet bites of babies, they are tender, so you don't have to cook them as long.
Okay.
One thing about cooking with the Italian squash is that you can cook it in a variety of ways. You can saute it, as we're going to do today, with some tomatoes and some onions, or you can cut it open down the middle and you can stuff it.
Okay.
You can bake it,
Wow.
or if you're feeling really, really, jazzy, you can batter it up and you can fry it.
That sounds really good. That sounds good.
So what I'm going to have you do is, while I do this, is I'm going to give you a couple of these tomatoes here.
Okay.
And I'm going to have Sabrina cut up some of these tomatoes for us.
Okay.
And if you notice, Sabrina normally cuts the tomato in half, and then we turn the open side down, and it's nice and neat for dicing. So while she does that, I'm going to stir this up a little bit more so it can start getting a little salted down where it can start sweating. And then we're going to add the tomatoes. And after we add the tomatoes, we're going to add the garlic powder, and we also going to add some fresh garlic, and that's pretty much it. We're going to probably drizzle a little lemon or lime, whichever one you have. Today we have lime, but you always wait to the end for that because you want it to not actually cook into the food, you know, which is fine if you're making a salad. You know, you want to add the lime or the lemon before then. Again, lime and lemon are natural preservatives as well. So the reason you want to add it early then is so that it can keep your veggies all nice and just, you know, where they're not changing colors, where it still keeps that vibrant, pretty, gorgeous green color. Another thing about the Italian squash, the bigger it is, the color it changes. So the smaller it is, the more green and limey color it is. And the larger it gets, the more orange it gets.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's different. That's really
it is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's very, very good for you. But as you know, Curtis B. Smith will be giving you the nutritional value on the Italian squash, and he's actually the expert, and he actually showed me a lot about the Italian squash. I didn't know.
Wow.
So I'm going to throw these tomatoes in here, and we're just going to get this cooked down, and it'll get nice and soft and juicy, and I guarantee you, if you don't do anything else, you're going to want to drink the juice.
Wow.
Because it makes its own flavor and its own juice, and it's so good. You're going to want to come and thank me personally. Keep the secrets to yourself. That way you can be the life of the party.
Yeah. Sounds like it has a lot of benefits.
It does. It does. And it's so easy.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to eat right if you can cook it and make it taste good?
Yeah.
And it's easy. So we're just going to get this stirred into here. And when we come back, we're going to try it. But first, we're going to make an old-fashioned caprese, which is very good if you're throwing any kind of party and you want to have some friends by. So, see you soon when we get back. Welcome back. We're cooking with Carolyn and
Sabrina.
we are back to show you how to make caprese with a special secret ingredient. You won't tell anybody. You think they're going to tell?
They will. They will. We'll have to.
All right. You got to share the love. One of the first things with the caprese I want you to understand is that it comes with fresh basil. In Kansas City, Kansas, right here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College, we grow this outside, nice and fresh, twice a year. Why twice a year? Why do you think?
Because it could be because of the climate or the weather or the temperature.
Good, you learning. Yes, Kansas City, Kansas, we have the advantage of having all 4 seasons. We have summer, fall, winter, and spring. Anytime you are growing a cool leaf veggie or herb, you would grow it in the spring or the fall.
Okay.
Just think about how it is on a cool spring morning or a cool fall morning.
So spring and fall.
Yes, you go outside, everything's just crisp and you can almost hear it crack and break.
Okay.
So while Sabrina start cutting up some of the tomatoes we have here,
What kind of tomatoes are we using today?
well, we're using a variety.
Okay.
This is a brown cherry, and it is very robust, and it has a lot of flavor and a lot of juice. And we also have a regular cherry tomato, no particular brand. This one's more of an orange color, and any time that you have more of a yellow or orange color, they have less seeds and they're a little bit milder. So we have different ones, and if you notice, this one right here looks like a little bitty pear, and it's called a pear cherry tomato. So while Sabrina do that, I want you to know that one of the things I did today is I salt and peppered our serving tray.
Why would you do that? What's the benefits of it?
Well, when you're serving hors d'oeuvres, you want to make sure that you have everything seasoned pretty good. And so with it being finger food, you don't want to dab, dab, dab here and there. You want to just have it all nice and spicy,
okay.
like us.
All right.
So, before I start to assemble the capreses, I want you to know, you see these little things here? It looks like little toothpicks, don't it?
Yeah.
It's a little hole in there. Guess what these are? We improvise.
What did you do this time, Mama?
These are coffee straws. So they come in black, they come in red, they come in brown. So if you're entertaining guests, you might want to have a color theme going on. So today I'm using white, but you can use any color you want.
That's a great way to improvise.
Thank you. And another thing with my capreses is that I have the line for the end to give it, like I said, that special flavor. So the first thing you want to do while Sabrina is grabbing some tomatoes and cutting them, I have a few pieces already prepared. This leaf is bigger. This leaf is smaller, but they all came off the same stalk. So you got different sizes to accommodate you and what you would like to do as you assemble your capreses. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this big piece because it's easier for you to see and easier to work with.
Okay.
First thing you do is you put the basil first. If you want to move it around, you want to be jazzy, you want to be, you know, different, by all means, assemble it the way you want. This is just the regular way. And the next thing you would take is your cherry tomato. This tomato has been cut long ways, not vertical. The reason being is you want all them little seeds and that juice robust to burst in your mouth.
Okay.
And then you put that on there next. And they go on easier when you cut them that way. Can you imagine taking a regular cherry tomato and trying to push it through something?
Yeah.
Just makes it easy. And the next thing you want to do is, this is just some regular old mozzarella. You can get the balls, you can get the slices. It's kind of however you want to assemble yours. And then there's your caprese. And I'm just going to line some up here. And notice that I can just move them around and then we'll get some of the salt and pepper. You got any questions for me?
As far as the tomatoes, when is the best time to pick these, the cherry?
Oh my goodness. The best time to pick those, as you can see, grab me one of those brown ones over there.
This one?
This one is not all the way right.
Okay.
Notice the color difference. This one's ready, dear.
Okay.
It's all dark and purpley, and this one is still has some coloring to do.
Okay.
Kind of like needs to pop back in the oven a little bit longer and get a little bit done.
Okay.
And give you that back. And any other questions that you can think of while I start to assemble this? What classes are you taking here at the college?
Currently, I'm taking a respiratory therapy class, and I start clinicals pretty soon.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
exciting! So if you see Sabrina in your Kansas City area, give her a big smile and let her know that you saw her right here with Cooking with Carolyn. So, again, remember, basil, fresh. I don't know any other way.
It smells so good.
You can smell it.
Yes.
Stick your tomato on there, and there's your caprese. The only thing I would do at the end is I take the lime, squeeze it, shake it, a little bit of oil, drizzle. Please buy a good balsamic. The thicker, the better. Then you have your caprese.